I got you this one, Coach. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The fanatic. But we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. The FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what I see. I love the fans like they part of my team. I love the fans like they part of my team. Come rock with me. We got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound, let's go eat. Turn on the fanatic, let's have a debate. Who really hold down the southeast from state to state? What team hungry gon' eat everything up off they plate? Who the next one that's really gon' step up and be great? Yeah, the FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what I see. I love the fans like they part of my team. Yeah, part of my team. I love the fans like they part of my team. Yeah, part of my team. I love the fans like they part of my team. Yeah.
Welcome into the Fanatic Sports Channel for sports fans by sports fan. It's your boy Coach I, man. As you can see, it's our first show of the 2022 season of Inside the Locker Room, presented by the Tailgate Kings. All right, man, let's get this thing on the road, man. Let me bring in my dogs, my co-hosts. First up, my man Erik Robinson, former DB at UGA. E-Rob, what's going on, dog?
What's up, Coach? What's happening, baby? Good to be here. Good to be on. Good to be back with my dogs. About to start off this 2022 season. I'm in a good mood. Let me tell you why I'm in a good mood, Coach.
Tell us
I woke up this morning. I looked in the mirror. The mirror looked back at me. And we were both champions, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
We still champs.
That's right, man. Next up the bat, my man, Corey Allen, former wide receiver at UGA, class of 93 with Kirby Small. What's going on, CA?
We class of 94, but we love you anyway, baby. We love you anyway, Coach. I tell you what, I feel the same way Erik feels, baby. I mean, it doesn't get old at any point. You know, to be honest with you. This is why we're here. We're here to talk about championship caliber football. We know what it looks like. We understood the assignment, and now it's about carrying on and moving forward. So I'm excited to be here. If you can't tell, just wait and see.
That's right, man. Next up the bat, man, we got a former UGA wide receiver, two-sport athlete, track and field. He played a little ball too, man. I think he used to try to get it to me at the Space Center a little bit. We got my boy Shouty Parker. What's going on, Thad Parker?
Fellas, what's happening? It's always good to be back in the building with my guys, man. E-Rob, that was an awesome intro, man. That was awesome. What up, CA? It's always good to see you, man. I love the energy. Let's go. Let's get it.
That's right. And, hey, last but not least, hey, we see what Brock Bowers did last year. He getting it to the point where they talking about tight end use. This next host was one of the originators. When Donnie came in, he made us say, hey, man, you got to use the tight ends. We got my man, former UGA tight end, Tailgate King, CEO, Jevaris Johnson. What's going on, JV?
Hey, man. Y'all just done lined up the balls, man. I'm just coming in this thing and knock them out the park. Hey, understand this, coach. That tight end, man, it got a long lineage, going all the way back to guys like Mitchell and BLB and Wiggins. But, you know, me and Randy, we did our thing too. But as I stated last year, natty or bust, watch Brock do his thing, the most dynamic room in the country. I'm just talking about the fanatics with the insiders right here. The most dynamic room in the country, baby. Everybody recognize what we got going on.
That's
We got
right,
you,
man.
babe. There we go.
That's right. That's right. Let's see. We got some fanatic dogs checking in. Shelby, let's go. Shelby say the Go Dogs.
Long time, dog.
What's up,
Right. That's
Shell?
right. We got another alum in here, my boy Martella Ali Reed. Russell Hall, 3 West in the building. Let's go. Go Dogs.
Uh-oh.
And we got our man
Hey, bro.
Travis Payne.
Yeah.
What's up, fellas? What's going on, Travis?
T-Pain.
Glad
T-Pain.
you up
How
in
you
here,
doing,
man.
Payne? TP and TP, yep.
That's right, man. That's right, man. Hey, man, we're going to jump right into this thing, man. We got a couple things we want to talk about tonight. We're going to touch on running back man. What we expecting out of that running back room this year. We're going to talk about some impact first-year players. That could be true freshmen or redshirt freshmen or guys that just haven't seen the field yet that may be making a impact this year. And we're going to also talk about, is recruiting nationally hurting the Dogs in the state of Georgia as far as recruiting goes? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get started, man. So, E-Rob, we went at the beginning of the Kirby, tenure. We had 2,000-yard rushes in Chubb and Sony. Then we had another 2,000-yard rushes in Holyfield and Swift. But the last couple of years, it ain't been that, man. What you think going on?
So, that's an interesting question because we had production last year from the running back because I think we were like second in the SEC in rushing, so we were able to run the ball when we needed to run it. So I get what you're asking. I get the genesis of the question, of why you're asking the question. We didn't seem as explosive as we normally are, but we got the production. So it's kind of, you got the yin and the yang there. I feel like this year, going into this year, I think that the running backs that we have, I think this group is more explosive. So I expect to see more bigger plays, more like what we're used to seeing out of Georgia running back.
Okay, I can feel that. You feel the same way, Thad, or you expecting something bigger this year, more like running back you?
Well, I think in order for us to be, as successful as we were last year, we're definitely going to need actually more out the running game. I don't want to have to depend more on the pass game, although we do have a seasoned guy coming back in as a trigger man. But I would like to see us lean more heavily on the run game. I think we finished up around the combination of 3 backs around 1,900 yards. I think we need to be around maybe 2,400 to 2,500 yards this year.
Okay, I can definitely agree with that because Sony and Chubb, they went for about 25 1 year. Swift and Holyfield went for over 2K. So I can definitely see that. CA, what's your thoughts on this subject, man?
It's not one I worry about a lot, to be honest with you, man. The running back room is going to give us whatever we ask out of it. If we need 35, 40 carries on any given night, we do have the depth, whether you look at the veterans coming back or even some of these incoming freshmen that have a chance to impact the game. So I don't worry about the production. It's about winning, but I understand the question because we do need to have the horses. I feel like we got that. And it's really going to be up to Todd Monken to put those guys in position to be successful because it's about matchups every Saturday. So as long as I got the guys in the room that I need to be successful, it's really about how we mix and put this recipe together every Saturday. But I think I like what we got. I don't have any complaints about the talent or how we use it.
Okay, and now speaking of running back room, we got a special guest for y'all today. We're talking about 3-time Super Bowl champion for the New England Patriots, former UGA running back, Mr. World in high school, Patrick Pass. What's going on, Patrick Pass?
Hey,
1-9.
We got rings in here. I see you 96.
Yes, sir. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, big guy?
Yo?
Man, I'm up here trying to stay healthy as heck. Up here in Massachusetts with the Omicron and the COVID. Get out of here, because I'm on the phone. With the COVID, and now we got the monkeypox. So it's
Somebody need to come back down south, boy.
If it ain't one thing, it's another. You know what I'm saying? So, brother, that man, I'm enjoying life with the kids, and it's about time. We got some good weather up here in Rhode Island. It's been 95, 96 pretty much for the last 6 weeks up here. So, I'm enjoying life, man.
Putting that pool to work.
That's
Man,
right.
you know what?
That's right.
Actually, Jay, I know that I have it in the back, but I don't even go in it. It's just too hot for me. It's too hot.
It's too
But
high. That's a
It's too
shame.
hot
Look
to
at
go swimming.
it's just too hot for me to be in the sun. Put it like that. You know what I'm saying?
That kind of weather no more, man.
I understand. I'm just talking. I'm air conditioned, baby, now.
Man, if I can avoid it, I won't go outside until 7 o'clock.
Hey,
That's when
that's
everything put away. The sun, the heat, all that. So
hey,
Well, you
that's
got-
what's up. So
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
we in
Yeah,
here
I'm good.
talking about running back. You, Patrick, Pass, one of the what you a part of. So these past couple of seasons hasn't been like the beginning of Kirby's tenure. Are you at all concerned about that, or are you thinking we moving forward? We moving more towards a pass happy offense or anything like that?
man, I think honestly, whatever it takes to win game is what I think, head coach is gonna implement in the game plan. But I would hate for them to go to a 70-30 pass run ratio, because I don't think that's what Georgia is known for. You know what I'm saying? And we all know that it's tailback. You look at the running backs that came out of there. But if we have to win, if we have to pass to win games, then I think we'll be behind the 8 ball more often than not, because that's not our style of football. Well, it hasn't been our style of football for a while.
True that. I think with the emergence of Todd Monken and the offense that he runs, I think we'll be balanced. We got those tight ends that we used last year, and I think we'll see more of the same this year. And I think as long as our running backs are effective when they do touch the ball, that's all that really matters. You know what I'm saying?
And that's all you can really ask for, from the running back. Because nowadays you need a good stable, especially with the way the game is being played, and the guys are bigger, faster, and stronger, and the SEC is just a dominant conference anyway. You need 6 or 7 of those boys in the backfield to get you through a season, and most of the time you're gonna rely on the top 3 or 4, but you need a good 7. You know what I'm saying? Because they all gonna be able to do different things. You're gonna have your first, second, third, your every down back, but then you're gonna need 2 or 3 that can come out of the backfield. You know what I'm saying? Like the James Cook come out of the backfield and catch that rock. You know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna need some of those guys, because injuries are part of the game, and I hate to say that, but you're gonna need some of those guys to back up the 2s and the 3s and the 4s. Just like so you won't miss a beat going into the SEC championship game or the national championship game. So you need a good 7 of those guys, man, and I think that but it really seemed like tailback U is becoming tight end U. From what I see with these tight ends they got over there.
Started, Patrick. Come on, man. Don't get JB. Now he about to take the
We can't do nothing with him. We can't. Oh, here we go. Just flex. Come on. Week 1. It ain't even week 1 yet.
I know, right?
You know I'm coming.
I had to throw that in there to keep him quiet, because it was probably going to come out at some point during the show from JB.
It already came out. We ain't waiting.
That's right. Speaking of them tight ends, last year we had a breakout player in Brock Bowers. He wasn't even supposed to start at the beginning of the season, but Darnell Washington wasn't ready to go. He stepped in and was a major part. Ended up, to me, being the best tight end in the nation, even though the Mackey Award people was tripping about that. So along with Brock and how he showed out, JV, who you thinking this year going to be them first-year impact players? It could be true freshmen. It could be people that's redshirt freshmen, sophomores that ain't touched the field. Who you thinking gonna be one of them people this year?
Listen, man, I got a few guys that I want to be able to touch on. I'm only going to touch on the offense very, very quickly. I think our offense is going to be power-packed, full of great guys and full of great talent. I'm looking for this young guy, Ernest Green, to be able to add some depth to this O-line and mature very quickly. Because what I'm thinking is that we're going to continue to have horses, but we need to have horses that come in whenever the lead horses need to take a drink. So Ernest Green is a freshman. I'm looking forward to seeing if he can really step in and get some real memorable and some real opportune reps on the offense. But let's go to that defense side of the ball, because this is where I'm looking for all of the impact players that are going to be first-year guys to come from. Number one, I'm talking about Mr. Michael Williams. I mean, I'm looking for this guy to come in and do some great things. A freshman, 6'5", 265. Come on, man. Woo. If this guy isn't on that field the first 2 games causing a lot of HE double hockey sticks, I don't really know what we're going to get out of him, because I think he's ready-made for college right off the bat. And I ain't going to take up too much time, but I'm going to jump over one of my guys, because I did want to touch on CJ Madden. I want you guys to look out for this cat. But I want to go through what I call a terrific trio, man, in that defensive backfield. I'm talking about.
Take your time.
Go ahead.
Malachi Starks. Okay. All right. I'm talking about Daylon Everett. And I'm talking about my guy, Jaheim Singletary. These guys, I'm looking for some great things because they have some above average size. Kirby recruits body types, man. We know he won't. He wants big guys in that backfield, in that defensive backfield. He wants length, but he also wants speed. Man, we got it in spades. And these 3 guys, I'm looking for one of those guys to really separate themselves. Not sure which one yet, but those are my impact, new incoming guys that I'm looking for a lot of things out of, great things out of.
What about you, Shawty Parker, man? What you looking at? You looking at offense, defense, or you got people on both sides of the ball that you looking at?
Well, mainly just on offense. I really want to see Gilbert, to be honest. You know, I hate to go back to the tight end. It's hard. I really want to see the impact. Did I go off? Y'all got me?
Yeah, we got you.
So, I really want to see the impact that this young kid can have on this team, the size and the speed that he brings to that formation. Once again, our 12 and 13 personnel is going to be phenomenal, which is going to help that run game, I think, honestly, because of the way we can bring on mismatches. But really, that's where I really want to see get a lot of touches this year with Gilbert.
Okay, I'm down with that too. You got Gilbert, and then you got, of course, go with Brock Darnell. I think Todd Monken got a good problem on his hands, is how to get everybody that ball. CA, what first-year players you think are making some impact this year, man?
I'll be honest with you. I think it might be one of the running backs. We got a few guys coming in that can carry the load. I'll let you figure the names out. But when you combine them with McIntosh and Milton, I personally feel like the running backs are going to be a lot more explosive, have a lot more opportunities. We're going to have a short passing game, and then I think we're going to do play action off that with guys like A.D. Mitchell. But to be honest, I think we're going to really depend heavily on tight ends and running backs this year. So I see one of the running backs stepping to the forefront, one of these young guys coming in to fill a load when someone might not be available, or we might just need to go 3 or 4 deep on any given day. I'm looking for that to be really how Georgia looks this year. I think we'll be a closer comparison. I'm going to just throw this out there now. And, I'll take these shots all season. But I think we'll be a closer comparison to the LSU team that won a couple of years ago. I expect us to be extremely dynamic on offense. Stetson is who he is. It's not about, him altogether, but we have the talent around him. I like my O-line. So I feel like the running back position is going to be where I see a spark come from as a freshman.
Okay. Pat, what you got on it, man? You looking at any of these impact guys, these first-year guys that come in? I mean, we lost 15 in the draft.
Come on, Super Bowl. Tell me what we got.
Man, let me tell you, and I'm gonna stick with what CA saying, man. Those running backs, whoo-wee. And I think they're gonna push those older guys to the max as far as getting playing time, because the thing is, man, when it wasn't like it was back in my days when you had to sit behind a few people as a freshman because the coaches didn't trust you at that point. But these days, man, you see freshmen coming in and doing the damn thing right off the bat, and with those older running backs, with Milton them over there, these freshmen gonna come in and get these guys a run for their money, and that's what I like to see. Because it just lets you know what type of coaches we have that can go out there and recruit day one starters to go in there and compete in this league. And boy, let me tell you, I'm going to be down there in September, and I'm looking for, not only I'm looking for the running backs and the tight end and quarterback, but I want to see what the special team looking like too. because that's a third of the game. And people don't understand how the special team can win and lose a championship. Look at all 3 of the Super Bowls I played in.
Mm-hmm.
We won by 3 points. That plays a role. And if you can go out there, and it's I try to tell a lot of these kids, man, you can make a damn good living playing special team. Look at Matthew Slater going on to his 14th, 50th year with New England, and he's a special team guru. 10 Pro Bowls.
That's
you know
amazing.
what I'm saying?
So amazing.
I love
it.
And I know it sounds weird coming from a guy like me because I was on the offensive side of the ball, but because I've been at the highest level of this football thing, that the special team is a very, very important role of this game, man. And I love to see those guys go out there and do what they have to do. Because I mean, coaches know that you can run the ball. The first thing Bill came to me and said to me when I was in New England, he was like, I know you can run, I know you can catch. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, for you to make this team and for me to keep you around, I need to know if you can protect the quarterback on third down. But not only that, can you play special teams? You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand what he meant by that until I got in practice, and special team was like his thing. And I'm like, okay, for me to make an impact, I'm gonna have to do what I need to do because I know I'm not gonna be a starter, but I'm one player away from being a starter. But for me to make an immediate impact, I need to go out there and do my thing on special team. So that's awesome. What I did, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we're gonna put out there. So I know these guys are gonna be able to run, block, catch, tackle, hit, all that. But you know what I'm saying? If we can't do the same thing on special team, man, we're gonna be way behind the 8 ball. So I don't want these coaches and players just to sit up there and just concentrate on offense and defense, man. Put it all together. Put it all together and just make it fun.
E-Rob, what you was gonna get in there with?
No, man, I agree with Patrick. And back to your point, we've been really good on special teams under Kirby. And a big part of that has been some of the young talent that we've had. That's kind of been the progression. They come in, make it
exactly. He play his starters. He play his starters on special teams.
Right, because he believes, Patrick, because he believes the same thing. That special team, boy, that it matters if you're trying to win and win at a high level. So I'm with you on that. So back to your question, the dude that I'm looking forward to, and under Kirby, this position has flourished, and that's middle linebacker. After Roquan,
I'm with you.
Then you got Nakobe Dean, and I think the next one in the line is they call him Pop, number 10, Jevaris Johnson.
Okay.
You might not know him from up in the Virginia, Washington area. Might not know him because he's not from the South. I think that guy's gonna come in and make an impact out of nowhere. Has the ability, has the talent, and I've heard Kirby kind of raving about him. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do when the lights are shining the brightest.
I heard that nickname a couple times.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you because that middle linebacker has been really important to our defense these past couple of years. Not to forget Monty Rice too in the COVID year held it down. So, I mean, dog, we got a lot of players and like you say, special teams. We need those guys to step up. We need because we lost our punter. I mean, our punter was one of the best in the nation. I mean, flipping the field and field position.
That's a huge question mark.
Huge part of the game. So we got to look forward to all that. I'm looking forward to all the guys that you guys name. Michael Williams is the guy on defense that I'm thinking may come in that rotational. He's the guy I think we talked about a couple of shows ago trying to get pressure on the quarterback. He's one of those guys that has the body type and the get off to do that. So I'm looking forward to that right there. Now, with all these young kids.
Guard position too.
The guard position on offense.
That's major. That's major. We got to figure that out early.
We lost both our guards. We lost Schaefer and we lost well, the good thing is Tate Ratledge actually was supposed to start. Right. He came in and got hurt like the first series against Clemson. So they said he looking like he returned to form. So hopefully one of those spots will be filled up. I don't know who's going to get that other spot, but I'm glad our tackle spots are solidified because I think you can hide a guard more than you can hide a tackle. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
All right, to start this next topic, I want CA and Thad to kind of get us started, man.
It ain't in week 1 yet. Here we go.
Listen.
Play the highlight reel from last year. We need to see that.
Out of the last 5 classes, and we're going to include 2023 of recruiting, we've only 1 year got more than half of the top 10 players out of the state of Georgia. Now, everybody knows that we can't get every player from the state of Georgia because I think per capita, Georgia probably is the best state when you're talking about quality recruits. But like this year right now, we got 3 of the top 10, but Bama got 3 of our top 4. Is recruiting nationally because we're getting a lot of like number 1 players in other states. Brock Bauer was the number 1 player in California coming out. I mean, we got a lot of the like top guys coming out of top states. Do y'all think recruiting nationally is hurting us with in-state recruiting? Y'all can take that one.
No, I don't think it's hurting us at all. I mean, you gotta understand some of that has to do with just by position and what you need at that position at that particular time. And also, anytime you can go in another state and you get that top player, I mean, I'm with that all day. I don't care what state he's from. If he's the number 1 player in that state and I can add him to my roster, I'm going to go get him. And at the same time, I think we locked down our state enough where we get the top quality guys. So it's not really a problem to me. I like the way he's doing it, and the proof is in the pudding. I mean, look at the recruiting classes. Look what it has produced. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with that at all. If anything, I just think the national recruitment helps our brand better nationally.
It's going to be hard for me to say anything against that. I mean, because I agree wholeheartedly. You know, the fact that we are able to recruit nationally just adds to the strength of the program. We cherry pick. I mean, that's what I wrote down when you asked me that question. We cherry pick what we want outside of the state. And in Georgia, if we want you, we're gonna go after you. You know, you're gonna have to tell us no. And it's not like we losing to Georgia Tech. You know, it's not like Florida State coming in here and taking from us. It's really only one other program that's in that discussion. So if that's what I'm dealing with, you know, hey, we can handle that because that's gonna be per the guy anyway. You know, everybody's gonna have their opinion as far as where they want to go. But as long as you know Georgia's interested in you and you're a top player, you know, you're going to hear from us, you know. So I don't doubt what Kirby's doing. I feel good about all we've done in recruiting because it just continues to add to the pot. We got to have the guys. We got to have the Joes to execute what we want to get done. So I don't feel like it has a negative impact at all. It puts us in a position where, you know, when you come to Athens, you got to compete against the best. Now, that's what scares guys. Not everybody wants that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to take it, you know, how we getting it, and no complaints from me.
What about you, Pat, man? As you like, I feel like that and CA. As long as we getting the best players, the right players for our system, I think we good. Now, I did want Justice Haynes, but he had to go be his own man and do what he had to do. But
I wanted him bad.
Yeah,
I wanted him and Caleb down. You know, but hey,
how you feeling about that, P?
Well, you know what? Here's my thing. There's a certain type of player that I think that Kirby and the coaching staff is looking for. So let's say if you got a 5-star guy in Georgia as a defensive back, but he's 5'8", 185, but he runs about a 4.4, and then you got a guy who's in California who's 6'1", 205, and run a 4.3, and that'll knock your head off. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's really no comparison. When you can get a guy who's 6'1", 205, that a 4'3" guy, because those are guys that we're looking for to fit their defense. Now, it's nothing wrong with a guy, 5'8", 185, and running 4.4 in Georgia, but you want the bigger, faster, stronger guy because that's what the game has evolved to in this day and age, and that's the kind of guys I'm gonna go for. And then all the 4-star guys. Now, and I don't even look at the stars. If you can play ball, you can play ball. I don't give a damn if you're a 2.5 or a 3 or 5. And I don't even look at that. If you can play, you can play. But I think it's more about, can he fit this system, the system that we're trying to run, the system that we're trying to implement on every Saturday? Can he fit that system 12 weeks out of the season? You know what I'm saying? And if I got a guy whose body type that I know that's gonna be able to fit that system 12 weeks out of the season, that's what I'm gonna go for. And a lot of these cats are coaching staff and teams are going for the bigger body style now. I mean, I've never seen so many 6'1" cornerbacks like I have this day and age. You know, when I was playing, it was, you know, you had the Winfields that was 5'8", you know, 5'9", but that wasn't afraid to hit. But now you got guys that are 6'1", 6'4", playing cornerback. And I think that's what the game has evolved to today. If you can play, they gonna come get you.
I see. JV, you feeling the same way we are? I mean, we did miss out on Caleb Downs, but we got I don't want to mess his name up, but he's from out west, Joel. His last name I can't pronounce, but he's the number 2 safety. So it's not like we not getting good players in recruiting. Exactly. It's just some of the Georgia players that, you know, the fans like, oh, why we don't recruit the state better.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm in 100% total agreement with Pat and everything that everybody else has said. I mean, I think a while back, and I'm gonna mess it up, but I heard it was either Saban or Kirby said, "Listen, I can go get a guy who's 5'8" and runs a 4.4, but I want the guy who, and the guy might be 185, 190, but I want a guy who's 205 that runs a 4.4." And at 6'1", because when he gets there, he's gonna cause more damage. And you've seen that. You've just been seeing it. You continuously see that Kirby goes at the body type. When you looked at our defense last year and you looked at those outside linebackers and that D line, of course, nobody could match up to the size that Big Boy had on the inside. But still, our D line, our linebackers, they look very similar. Very similar. Body types, long, lean, fast, athletic, quick twitch. Mm-hmm. These guys are muscle memory, extremely aggressive type guys on that football field, and that's what Kirby wants. I'm gonna tell you something though. You had mentioned, are we recruiting the state of Georgia effectively? And I'm a big guy who, just like Pat, don't really look at the stars much, but we hold our own. And if you really look at what we got out of this whole class that's playing right now, this freshman class, a few things, man. Kirby has 45% of the total class from the state, right? And the one that's here right now. 13 guys out of 29 were from Georgia. All right. If you look at the other states that we got players from, one from Alabama, one from California, one from Mississippi, one from Tennessee. He goes, and again, just like CA said, we're cherry picking what we want, who we want, because we know what we need. Not concerned about us trying to lock down the entire state of Georgia and have a roster full of 29 signees out of 29 being from Atlanta. Don't care about that. Bring the guys that's going to do what we did last year, and that's bring home the natty again so we can run it back. I want more of those guys.
And I'm sure that fluctuates from year to year too. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
There we go.
Yeah. Like we always get about 3 to 4 of the top 10. But I'm like, what y'all said. I'm about getting the right guy. Like just because the guy's ranked number 1 in Georgia, that don't mean, you know what I'm saying. That don't mean that guy's a good fit for University of Georgia. I mean, we got Marius Mims. He was a tackle. We know how we stay in the trenches. We got him when he was number 1. Travis Hunter was already, I think, he was already either Florida State or Jackson State. He was number 1, but he's not even, if you think about it, Travis Hunter's a player, but he's goes back to what Pat said, and I think somebody else said the body type. He's not the body type of a DB that Kirby's looking for. Kirby's looking for those 6 foot, 6'1". Hey man, they got. I don't know. You might.
I think we would have made that exception, Coach. I'm gonna be honest. Wait a minute. Now slow down a little bit. That ain't everything. He ain't everybody.
I'm just saying we wasn't in on him. We wasn't there. We was out.
No, we read the tea leaves. We read the tea leaves. That he was talking money from the beginning. It wasn't even an NIL situation, and he was talking money. I mean, I don't know that. Yeah, but I'm just saying. Yeah, that kind of is what it is.
But on the flip side of that too,
how you not go for California? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying on the flip side of that too, man. You just really never know why we don't go after some of those guys. But I'm almost certain that. You have to look at the character issue of a lot of these guys too. The reason why we don't go after the guys that we may deem 5-star or 5.5-star player, because maybe there's a character issue with these guys, even though he's a hell of a player on the football field, but probably not the guy you want to have around your team off the football field. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why you may see a lot of the time where UGA don't go after those 5 stars that's in the state of Georgia because of the character issue, and I can see that happening. You know, a lot of time where you.
Great point.
I want to jump in on that because I agree, and then I'm gonna step back because I talk too much. But I think, you know, along with that, Pat, you know, specifically, you know, we don't necessarily target guys that might not be a fit. You know, when I look at it, because I look at it even when I had a chance to be a part of recruiting some of the guys on this call. You know, when that 9-6 class came in, not everybody wanted to go to Georgia. And when I tell people that in this state, I'm like, hey, man, some guys just want to get away. We not going to get every kid in this state. Cozy didn't want to go to Georgia. We weren't going to get Jamal at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? So we can only do what we can do. All I can do is offer you.
Jamal was going to go wherever I wasn't going to be at.
You said number one. And you know what? I preferred Pat. You know what I'm saying? That I preferred Pat. I was like, hold up, Pat could play 2 positions and he might play baseball. I think we got the right one, dog.
With you,
Some of them 5-star got to pay his classes too.
That's right. But what you think, you played 2 sports, was that the option to play, because Justice mentioned being able to play baseball too, and we all know how
That's
2
true.
sport athletes kind of fizzled out as far as Kirby and that. So like Arian Smith don't run track no more, and that could be because of injuries, or it could be because Kirby said, hey, man, could be say pick one. So Thad, with you, like you was a track star and a football star coming out, and you played both at Georgia. Did that play a part in it? Because another school wouldn't let you do both?
No, because I was always truly a football guy. I just happened to be fast, but I was a football guy, so track was just more of a novelty thing for me. It was just kind of helped me stay in shape. But once I got to Georgia, once again, about those 5 stars having to also pass classes, you got to be able to learn that playbook. And I'm going to be honest with you, me as a freshman trying to do both sports, I really struggled with the playbook. So after that, I realized I need to just focus on football and, you know, get things together in the area that's, you know, paying for my school.
Okay.
That's a real solid point.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's some points that a lot of people don't think about, man. Let's get in these comments, man. These people been going crazy. My boy, Shed Wynn been all in. He was saying this is when Pat was talking about special teams. He said he's a special team coordinator. He tell him that's how you get on the field. We got Jonathan Grant up in here.
JG.
Let's go. We got Shed all in the comments. Now, Marcus Sellers, you know, I guess this is talking about the recruiting. He said, yes, it's hurting us because it's not our primary focus, because it's okay, because we're getting more than we're losing. That's right. I mean, we get more than we're losing in state, but like I say, I think like everybody said, we getting the right players. Let's say in this, Trevor said it's the price of becoming elite. No. That's right. It's like now we're recruiting in every state and not just Georgia. Yep. So,
and one more point, real quick, Coach. Let me throw in this point, man. I've seen this pop up a couple times on the IG, Instagram. But seriously, if you look at these surveys they're doing of all these high school kids and notable college brands across the country, there's only 1 or 2 schools that rank in front of Georgia, period. And we know who the elephant in the room is, no pun intended. But of course, you know, we kind of flip back and forth with Ohio State.
Yep.
And if you're going to be in the top 3 of the entire country as a notable brand with these young kids with zero attention span,
let's go.
Give me that shot.
That's all you need. That's all you want. We talked about being relevant. We talked about making sure that we were a team that people recognize, and we were there year in and year out. We are that team. I don't have no complaints about what Kirby doing, man.
No.
This is Shelby getting in on CA's comment about not losing any of the tech. She said she didn't know the North Avenue Technical School actually recruited. Hey, speaking of that comment right there, because we got, I know JV's originally from Bama, right? The state of Alabama. And then we got E-Rob. You from Florida, right? Yep. All right. But that CA and Pat, y'all from Georgia. Did y'all
Yes,
ever,
sir.
at one point in the recruiting process, think about
Nope.
going to the technical school on Trade Street?
Hey man, hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you.
They won
I
a
had
national
actually
title when I was in
pick.
high school. You know, I saw them over there.
Hey, once again, so you got to pay in classes.
But let me tell you, I grew up in around the area, so it was I had boy, I wasn't going nowhere near Georgia Tech unless they had a track meet over there. But I'm gonna tell you something now though, with all these NIL deals going on, if I had one of them things back in the day, I probably wouldn't know who JB is right now in Thad.
Hey, highest bidder.
I'm trying to tell you, because hey, you can't throw $5 million to an 18-year-old kid from the projects with a single mom. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's why George Lombard played baseball as long as he did. You know what I'm saying? This ain't really new. The money just coming from so many places.
Right.
Yeah, and I got a pretty good deal out of high school myself.
Whoa. Oh, you talking about the baseball money.
No, I'm talking baseball.
I'm about to remove you from the street.
Good job. Y'all about to cut me off this thing, Wayne. Put me in the
We lost Patrick.
It's tough. It's tough now these days with the NIL deals to keep these kids going. You know, to really keep them from going to the school they want to go to, because you got Texas who's known for oil over there that can pay whatever they want to pay to get these kids to go there. But at the same time, I tell everybody like this, who I talk to who know about college football, because college football up here is not like it is down south. I got to kind of teach these guys up here, you know, about the Southeastern Conference and stuff like that. And I tell them, they're like, well, what do you think about the NIL deal? I said, listen, it doesn't matter who's on that team. Right? They still got to play ball on Saturdays. You know what I'm saying? It's just like playing spades. I don't give a damn if you look at my hand and see what I got. You still got to play. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna bet the house with Kirby and his coaching staff every single Saturday, no matter who you got over there on the other side of the field, what coach you got, what, you know, 5-star, 6-star players you got. I'm going to bet the house on my coaching staff over here. No matter how many NIL deals they got, you know, how many Mercedes-Benz sponsorship they got, I'm betting the house on my guys over here. So, but it do make it harder for those guys who coming out of high school to go to the school they want to go to, because now they get money thrown at them. You know what I'm saying? Now, do you really want to go to a school that's wearing yellow and black, or you want to go to a school that wearing that black and red? And that was my theme when I was growing up too, because I used to watch. And this is the reason why one of the reasons why I ended up choosing Georgia, because when I was growing up as a kid, I used to watch this yellow and black team play the red and black team. I'm like, oh man, that yellow and black is black. I don't know if I want to wear that. I don't know if I can wear that.
That's solid right there. Solid decision making. I like that.
Yeah, solid. And one thing too, guys, you have to remember, it could have been such a distraction, because once I got to UGA and I was able to hang out with, you know, sophomores and juniors and seniors as a freshman, we were coming back to the city to party. So ain't no way I could have stayed. Right, ain't no way I could have stayed and went to Georgia Tech. The party was never stopped.
If you were from the city, we had to get out. So look at it. That's all us. From the city, we had to get out. That was too close.
Hey, let me tell you now, I used to make that drive from the MAC. You know what I'm saying? Because I had that baseball money.
Everybody made that drive.
Let me tell you how things have changed. Like, boy brought a brand new Honda Accord with some 16-inch chrome wheels on that thing now. Ride, right? But I should make that drive, you know, at least 2 times a night. You know, nobody know that. I should make that drive back home to go to the strip club. I'm sure I paid off some mortgages and some college tuition, because I used to go down there. You know, I had that baseball money too, so I was like, I'm about to hit the road. I'm about to go spin.
And we getting in at 18. Ain't no way we supposed to even get in the club.
So we know who in the car.
But check this out, though. I used to go down there and drive back, knowing I got a 7:15 class the next day.
So E-Rob and JB
workouts though.
E-Rob,
Hey, hold up.
what made y'all come into the state?
There we go.
Well, so I visited that regular school with the yellow and black, and that was so I'm gonna go ahead and tell it. That was my first time going to Magic City. So I'm coming back here. I just don't want to go to this school. So when I came and visited Georgia, they just had everything. I got that feeling. You know what I'm saying? I just got that feeling. And I love the city of Atlanta. So I was like, yeah, I'll probably gonna end up in Atlanta if I can go to Georgia. I played baseball. They had just won the national championship in 1990. I was getting there in 93. Didn't know much about the program, but I figured how bad could they be in 3 years? Well, they were damn terrible. Let me go ahead and tell you. Damn awful. They answer that question. But that red and black, I'm with you, Patrick. Hey, man, that red and black ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
JV?
Yeah, man. I mean, like for me, so of course being out of Bama, you know, just full transparency. I grew up a Bama fan. And so being the kind of guy I was coming out of high school, I wasn't with that 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I wasn't trying to hit it blocking for no guy 4 downs. You expect me to maybe get a pass thrown at my feet on 4th down or 3rd down, and then you want me to block 3 more times again? No, I wasn't hearing that. And so, actually, I came and visited Georgia Tech. I had committed to Georgia Tech verbally. The week before, I had came to Georgia because the coaching staff had kind of got a little slow. They didn't, you know, they had the coaching change from golf to our guy, done. Right. And hey, look, I don't know where y'all at. I ain't heard from you. So, you know, now my first time going to Club Nicky. There it is. There it is. And it was good to you, boy.
But committed behind Nicky.
Yeah. Hey, but the very next week, by the time I got home from that visit, I had got a call from shout out to Coach Drake. Coach Drake said, "Hey man, he said that's on me. Got a lot of crap going on. We got a change out going on, but I want you to come." He said, "I want you to come this coming weekend." He came and picked me up. Man, I touched down on campus. I felt like I was at home, man. I'm from Anniston, Alabama. And Athens reminds me of Anniston. It's almost like if you take Jacksonville State University and sit it right in the middle of Anniston. That's exactly what it felt like to me, man. The guys were authentic. The chicks was right. The food was
Bulldogs.
And one thing I say too, I can't really speak for the other class, but in my opinion, I really felt like 1996 was the first year, in my opinion, that was a very influx of inner city kids too that were recruited.
That's big time. Then.
I don't know. You know what? This is what I will say, Thad, because as a guy that came in 94 with a lot of city guys, maybe not as many as y'all. What I feel like is 1996 was the class that brought in real talent. And I'm going to say that because I had a chance to help be a part of recruiting that. Like, dead serious. Like, I know what came in that year. You see what I'm saying? So getting a chance to play early, whether it be on special teams or in the rotation, all you guys got an opportunity, and it wasn't because we gave it to you. It was an extremely talented group of guys, offensive linemen, running backs, DBs, across the board, wide out. So it wasn't a lack at the tight end. You see what I'm saying? So there was so much talent in that class. I take pride in that. I take pride in that. I ain't going to forget about the tight end, but I take pride in that because we help recruit that. You know,
we ain't got to talk about it no more.
The sophomores recruit. And I remember seeing how that class had an impact. But yeah, man, it all matters.
Hey, that's good. Hey, at least the important thing is you didn't end up at another school. You ended up in Athens for the red and black. That's all.
They ain't have a Nicky, folks.
Nicky's for the win. JV, I'm gonna just take back the 5 seconds that I had to listen to you say you actually committed to Tech.
Yeah, I just learned that. I didn't know that.
We all learned that. Shocked me.
Shocked me. Hey, man.
I was going to feel the way about it, but I dropped it.
Do better, man. They need to do better. Ain't nobody told me to go 2 weeks without talking to me.
So we had the part of the show.
Bound back with that Coach Drake comment.
We want to take some comments and questions from the people that's watching. Get our fan addicts in here. Marcus Sellers says, "Will Stetson finish the season as the starter?" I'm gonna take this first and say, yeah, unless he get hurt, he will finish the season as a starter. I don't think nobody's gonna take it. If they was gonna take it, they would have already did it. Anybody else feel different outside of injury on the panel?
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Unless someone can come in who's 6'7" and can throw that ball 95 yards on a run, that's the man. That's the man.
And trust factor, man.
Yeah, he's developed that trust from his guys. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And when you develop that trust, they're gonna play their hearts out for you. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna make sure that guy don't get touched. And that's the same thing that I went through up there with number 12. He developed that trust with the coaches in the line. They made sure that dude did not get touched. You know what I'm saying? And he probably had the referees in his pocket too. I ain't gonna talk about that, but you know, unless something happened to him, unless he hurt himself going off the bus, he's gonna be that man.
Yes, I think that's a unanimous thing. We got this is for you, Thad. He said we really 45 minutes in and Thad ain't throwing his heel statement to set everybody off.
I'm taking it easy because my boy Pat on the line. You know, I'm taking it easy.
You're gonna take it light on us. Come on, man, don't do it. Show out. All right.
So one of those incoming freshmen that we mentioned, Branson Robinson, Marcus is asking, will he be the next Chubb? Who you want to take this one, Pat?
Well, you know what? Here's my thing. Anybody can be the next guy if they just go in and put their work in and just stay healthy as hell. But you got to be coachable. You got to be coachable. You got to be willing to go in there and make and be comfortable with the uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? If you go in there thinking that you're gonna be the man and a knucklehead, it's gonna be hard for you. And I think Chubb is one of those once every 20 years running back that you see, besides Gurley. You know what I'm saying? That you see. I mean, because this guy he got hurt and then he came back and he just had an unbelievable season, and the things he's doing in the NFL it's special. Mm-hmm. But if you can be coached, if you're coachable and do everything that you need to do on and off the field, man, you can be the next Herschel if you want to be, besides running for, office down in Georgia. But
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh boy,
come on, man. We just
on this show, Herschel will remain the Herschel we know in between the hedges, and we will.
That's all.
Exactly.
Ran over a guy.
But that's the number 2 reason why I went to Georgia.
I can't be mad at that. I can't.
Let
me ask you this:
the number 3 reason was my boy Garrison Hurst. That was his number 1, number 2 reason why I went to Georgia.
Legends. Pat, I want to ask you a quick question before we get off of you. With you coming in, Pat, because you talk about what these guys have to deal with as coming in as a running back position, thinking they the man, having been the man, and having to deal with that level of competition, or having to deal with coach not necessarily understanding how to use them properly. When you stepped on the field or when you stepped on campus in Athens, tell me what were your biggest hurdles as far as, was it competition? Was it the playbook? Was it mental? What do you think were your biggest hurdles? Because you did play early, but you also had to work to get those snaps.
Well, with me, it wasn't anything physical at all, because I felt like I was always big, fast, and strong. You know what I'm saying? I was more behind the 8 ball with myself, because I felt like I had to learn the offense quicker than any other body that was coming in. And that was a struggle for me, because you go from a high school offense where it's like, all right, tossed right to something in college where you now you calling out formations and all that, and you just like damn, and then the shit is going fast. So I'm just like I and my biggest thing was don't screw up. I was always big and just like not trying to screw up and trying to impress. But it was the playbook. It was getting the coaches to trust me that I'm not going to screw up. And I had Bobo at the time, and Bobo was a legend. I'm just like, I don't want to screw up in front of Bobo. I need this guy to understand that if we're going to get this offense going in the right direction, that he need to have trust in the incoming freshman. And I know that's hard as hell for a vet to trust a freshman coming in, but I had to prove. I feel like I had to prove myself to Bobo and the coaching staff to just trust me to get the job done. It like I said, it wasn't anything physical, but it was mental because it was a playbook. It was a, I'm going from a school that had 1,800 kids to 55,000, and the ratio from girls to guys was like 14, 15 to 1. So I had a whole bunch of distraction at the same time. And
you're right.
I mean, some good distraction, but at the same time, I was like, I know I can play this game. I know I can play if I get the opportunity to go in there and do what I can do. So, like I said, I've always been big. I've always been fast. I've always been strong. It wasn't that, but I had Robert Edwards that I was behind. I had some of those other running backs that I was behind. But
Atlantis Gary.
But the thing is, I never, ever lacked confidence. I never lacked confidence, but I allowed myself to be coachable, to be coached. Like, I didn't go in there thinking, I got this down pack, or I know what I'm doing, or you can't tell me what to do. No, I soaked that shit in. I soaked it all in. And I was like, just give me a chance to get on the field and show you what I can do and just prove myself, and then I'm going to do it. No matter where you put me at, whether it's fullback, receiver, or running back, I'm going to go out there and do it. You know what I'm saying? But it was the mental part of the game because it was a different playbook and trying to impress the coaches and those older guys, especially. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. I was intimidated when I first got there because I felt like CA. I felt like you didn't even like me when I got there because you didn't speak at all. I was like,
go tell it, man.
Hey, Pat, and to piggyback. And guess what? When in Coach Dunning's offense, when you played the T, you had to know multiple positions. You just didn't come in and have to learn one position. Right, exactly.
Y'all had the hardest position.
That made the playbook even bigger. You didn't just have to learn one formation or where to be at. You had to know where to be at in multiple formations.
Check this out. Look, the year you guys are talking about, there were only 3 guys that had to learn that position, and 2 of them are on this call. Now the other one that won his share of Super Bowls too. But look at what we asking of y'all. As true freshmen, it's really just the 2 of y'all and Hines, even at that position. There's nobody else. Right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, what you say, I think about my freshman year, trying to get on the field, and I look at Erik the same way you look at Bobo, a whole legend. All I'm trying to do is not mess up what Erik Zai got going on. It's bigger than me. They already the ball rolling. I just don't need to mess it up. And when I hear you say that, Pat, it's good. And I think a lot of these players nowadays can relate to that because, to be honest, you are kind of the closest comparison to what's coming out today with NIL money being in place. You got women coming at you. You got the environment coming at you. And you got a pocket full of money. Hey, man, everybody ain't going to come out of that, So good luck to you. But you got to be able to navigate that.
Got to.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Hey, good insight, fellas. Good insight. I'm in here I'm listening to the war stories. I want to hear some more.
hey, trust me. Hey, we got plenty of those now. I should have got the cigar picks down in Tampa. CA and the cigar picks that we had down there in Tampa.
It's a good night there, or 2.
I'm gonna let JB take this next question. JB, we got Marcus Sellers say, will the wide receivers or the tight end group have the most reception yards? We know what Brock can do.
Come on, man.
Of course, Darnell.
Did you just really ask that question?
I guess he asked as a group because we know.
I know what he asking.
Brock may lead us in receptions, but what about the group though?
Are you really asking that question? Let me tell you something, man. We are gonna seriously have sets with 3 and 4 tight ends on the field. If we don't, man, it's an albatross. I need to get Monken out of here. Never before have you had a tight end room in the country where you have 4 guys in that room that not only could be starters, but if they go in the same draft, they might go 2, you ain't gonna take no tight end 1, but 2, 3, 4, 5. We have the most dynamic room in the country, bro. And we already know what Bennett do. He checked down to my guys.
He checked down Charlie, baby.
Hey, you know what he gonna do. So is the tight end room gonna lead the team in total receptions? Of course. But of course. But that's not a negative this year though, guys. That's not a negative.
I don't think so either.
I'm assuming, Thad, when you say yardage too, that you in agreement, you don't take exception as a former wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, it's just based on the way that we run our offense. I mean, like you say, it's, I would take the check down too when I got a 6'3" guy, a 6'5" guy, a 6'6", and a 6'7" guy that can body somebody up. Only way I'm going downfield is just going to be either barbecue or mildew. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I love it.
I definitely agree, man. If, like you said, if we ain't running some 13 personnel like a lot of the time, man, I don't know what we're doing.
I think that 13 personnel it's gonna be a lot of shotgun in that. Like, we're gonna have 3 tight ends on the field and be in the gun. That's what's gonna be different. We're not gonna be on the center and you get all that weight on the field. Right. You better get ready.
And we ran a bunch of 13 last year when I watched film too. We ran a lot of 13 personnel.
We ready.
Even if you are CA, if you start them out and they got these light DBs out there, these safeties out there trying to play huncho with these guys, then motion them all in, and let's get these backs to
It's all a trap. It's all a trap.
E-Rob, as the only defender on this call, what you this defense overall, man? I mean, we got Keely Ringo back there. What you thinking about that defensive backfield? Though we should be more experienced this year, actually.
Well, unlike last year, that was the only question we had on the defense was the secondary. I felt really good about the front 7. It was the secondary. This year, I think the front 7 is going to be good, not as dominant, but I think the back end will be outstanding. And I think, and here's the great thing. I think that we had the kind of coaches, and I think Patrick alluded to this earlier. Our coaches look at our team. It's a different team every year. We have strengths and we have weaknesses. We figure out how to accentuate our strengths and how to make sure our weaknesses don't hurt us. And I think they're going to do the same thing. And I think they're going to figure out a way to use this defensive backfield to wreak havoc along with the rest of the, what we have. I feel really good about it.
So we'll go around the call, man, just to get y'all feelings, man. Are we set up for long time success? We got recruiting. I mean, we seen what LSU done happened to LSU these last 2 years since they won the championship. Are we set up for long time success? We'll let Pat take this one off, and then we'll go around the room.
Man, you know what? Definitely. I'm going to. What, Kirby just signed a 10-year deal?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, we good. We good. We good. You know what I'm saying? These boys, Kirby going to surround himself with coaches that not only can coach but can recruit their tails off, and that's very important for an organization like, especially in the SEC, because now you having all these, now we got other teams that want to join the SEC because they know what type of conference they coming into and what kind of exposure you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if these other programs are lacking in the recruiting trail and the reason why they're trying to jump to SEC. But like I said, long we got Kirby and no coaching staff over there for the next 10 years, we good. We golden. We golden.
Shawty, what you say, man? We set up for the long term?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, with Kirby signing a 10-year deal, I think we're set at the coaching position. And the main thing is I think that the baseline has been set and we have established a culture. And with that culture being established, with the way that college football is headed now, with us having mega conferences, the SEC has always been the best conference, but now it's even more stronger. So these guys want to be seen. They're trying to play on Sundays. And that's what we're doing here in Georgia. We setting records. We putting guys on the field on Sundays.
That's what's up. CA, we just like Thad said, man, we just had 15. That's a record, you know what I'm saying, in the modern day draft, man. Can we hold that up, man? Whether we win in championship back to back or, get to the playoffs, can we hold that up for the next 10 so years?
I mean, we're in a strong position to do so. Right now, we've got a coach that, has I mean, when you're coming off a national title, who are we really to question what you're doing? You know, the recruiting is what it is as far as the strength of the program. I think that's a great indicator on who your program is and what young men think of it as far as the top tier players. So looking down the road, young players are making commitments early to Georgia. Kirby is still seeming to get the guys that we want as far as the type of player and the caliber. So I feel like we're in a strong position moving forward. We're in that top 3 conversation, and that's where you want to be. So I'm extremely pleased, and I like to hear it because again, all of us actually were in the locker room with Kirby, and I think that leads a lot of credence to how we feel about him, and for what he's done. We're in a tough position to disagree with. So hey, I'm with it.
E-Rob, any chance for a letdown? And when I say letdown, I'm not talking about the LSU 0-5. I'm talking about I feel like at this point we've reached the mountain to the point where if we win 8 games and that's it, that's a letdown.
No, we're not going to let down because I have a really simplistic philosophy on being good in college football. It's not the X's and O's, it's the Jimmys and Joes. If you get the best players, you're going to win. Now, if you get great players and good coaching, you're going to win. And we have that. So Kirby, before he got the job, I knew one thing he was going to do well is get us the best players. He's done that, and he's proven he's learned on the job, and he's a better coach. And again, like Shorty said, the culture is set at this point. We're not going to go backwards. We're going to be right. Like he said after we lost that national championship in 2017, we ain't going nowhere.
JV, we'll let you finish your thoughts out on this, our sustainability over the next 10 or so years.
Well, I mean, we won the Natty, man, but if you go back to like what E-Rob just said, you can't experience no more disappointment than what we've already experienced at the hands of that team across the state line. And the reality is that Kirby's continued to march forward. We continue to get top classes. We continue to get some of the best recruits that that the land has to offer. So if we did that in the face of all of the disappointment, now that we've won the Natty, that is a reinforcement of what's been being built and what's been built. This man got a 10-year contract. He got the bag, well deserved. And these kids, man, listen, when high school kids are sitting around talking about Georgia and Alabama, because, you know what I'm saying, Ohio State, yeah, whatever. But if Ohio State wanted to play some ball, they'll come to the SEC. They don't want to play that ball week in and week out. But
tell them
talking about Alabama and Georgia. And when we're talking about Georgia, the reason why Georgia stays in the mouth of Alabama fans is because they scared. They know and they see. They understand. We ain't no one suck lollipop. Man, we here for the long haul. So
and those kids see the facilities too, guys. We don't put a lot of
road, JV.
Hey, I'm with it all. Like you say, you need them Jimmys and Joes, and I don't see Kirby not being able to bring those guys into Athens, man. Before we get out of here, we're gonna let our special guest Pat Pass. You got anything you want to close out with, man? Before we get out of here,
man. 1-9.
9-6, baby.
There it is. Let me tell you something, man. And this really has nothing to do with football per se, but when I got on campus at UGA back in '96, and I got to know my dogs, JV, Thad, Champ, Corey Robinson, he was my teammate back in high school, Jonas Jennings, Marcus Stroud, man. When we got together, it felt like I was in a room with my blood brothers. You know what I'm saying? We became so close and as one that you didn't see one of us without the other. And we had our own little thing going. And we knew that we had to stick together all the time in order to make us, the class of '96, be successful up there, because we had, I honestly felt like we was competing against a class of '94. You know what I'm saying? And it was us against CA, against Hines, against Robert Edwards. You know what I'm saying? But when we got there, and then we all just meshed together. 96 meshed with the other classes, and man, I'm gonna tell you, we had some good times.
Great,
UGA, man.
That was a beautiful thing.
We all it was like it was no animosity.
You definitely got a story.
it was to me, it was no animosity. We all supported each other. We all went to each other. You know, someone was having a party. We all, you know, showed up at their parties. You know what I'm saying? And you know, if Dad threw a punch at the club, then we were all throwing punches.
Oh, Dad was that guy. Dad was that guy. Okay.
Once again, inner city kids, man. Inner city kids.
Yeah, we had to live and learn.
Hey, that's what's up, man. We want to thank all our fan addicts for showing up tonight. We had a good show. This is the start of every Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Join in with the Dogs, talking all things Georgia football. We want to thank our guest, Pat Pass, taking some time out, man.
Appreciate you, Pat.
Coming in here,
man,
chopping
go
up
Dogs.
with the fellas, man. You always welcome to come back in here, man, kicking with the fellas. And to my co-host, hey, man, y'all know what it is, man. We on a run for a back-to-back. That's what we doing this year.
Run it back.
Run it back.
Real quick, guys. Shout out to the Bulldog Bourbon Club. We got the mayor sitting down there. We got the mayor in the building. Shout out to them. We're going to see y'all in the fall. Go Dogs.
We'll be there.
Yes, sir.
All right, until next week at 8 o'clock on Tuesday for my man CA, E-Rob, JV,
National Championship.
And Pat Pass, man. This Coach I, the fan addict. Inside the locker room. We out of here.
We out, baby.
Go Dogs.